Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my fiancé when she sided with my ex? I got divorced 6 years ago. My wife had been cheating basically our entire marriage. Neither my daughter nor the child she was pregnant with were biologically mine. I went to court to make sure I didn't have to pay child support. She had committed paternity fraud, so it was difficult but not impossible. Her ex-boyfriend was the father. She and my daughter moved into his apartment, and that was that. I kept my house and had no parental rights or responsibilities. It freaking sucked. I loved my daughter. Anyway, I moved on. I eventually met someone new. She had a 5-year-old son. We were planning our future, and after 3 years together, we got engaged. Everything was looking good. Then my ex's life imploded. Her boyfriend died. They had a grand total of about $20,000 in savings. His parents were the beneficiaries of his $100,000 life insurance policy, and they put it into education funds for the kids. My ex can't afford her life anymore. This is not my problem, in my opinion. Her family won't help her. She has 2 young children and no support, so she has been reaching out to me. F that noise. I told her no. I told her to leave me alone. I blocked her everywhere. So she came by the house. I wasn't home, but my fiancé was. They talked. Apparently, I'm in the wrong. I got home and they were still talking. I need to help my ex. That's not going to happen. My fiancé said she wasn't sure she could marry me if I was so heartless. I agreed and called off the wedding. I told her that she and her son had 30 days to get out of my house. She tried backtracking, but she had shown me her true face. I'm apparently just a walking wallet. I have zero interest in that. My ex-fiancé moved back in with her parents. I made sure that everything that belonged to her was out of my house. She and her parents have been trying to contact me to get me to change my mind. I don't see their point at all. I don't expect my partner to agree with me on everything, but on important things, we need to be a united front. My ex and her kids have moved in with her boyfriend's parents, but they aren't really welcome there. Not my problem. Now for the top comments. How old was the daughter you thought was yours when you dropped out of her life? Does she remember you? 2 years old. No, she doesn't remember me. Now you tell me how to feel. My brother went through this recently. The kid was 9, and we just found out. I knew it was bad when he asked me what I would do. I'm the youngest. I told him I wouldn't fault him for dipping out because, man, that's freaking gut-wrenching. And everyone will just say, to hell with how you feel. The kid is important. Which I agree with to a degree, but to keep on living like nothing changed and the woman getting off scot-free for lying like that for years is crazy. What did your ex tell your fiancé exactly? What did you do or say to your ex that might garner sympathy from your fiancé? I wasn't present for that conversation. What I got from my ex-fiancé was that my ex has 2 kids, one of whom I had considered my child for a while. She said my ex was out of money and that her living situation was bad. She said that I should ignore my anger and betrayal and help her for the kids' sake. Screw them both, not my kids, not my problem. Your ex-fiancé can help them. You already did more than your share. Not the a-hole. She made an ultimatum. You took it. I feel awful for OP, but I'm glad he found out her values before marrying her. Paternity fraud should be a crime. I was really taken aback to learn at the medical genetics clinic, affiliated with my West Coast MD program, that the not-parent expected rate is almost 1 in 10. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling ex's affair partner all the dirt? I'll attempt to make a very long story short. I, 40 female, was with my ex, 49 male, for 5 years with a 6-month break. We live about an hour apart. I got a phone call from a girl before Christmas. She had found out about me. Turns out he'd been seeing her since our break. She didn't know about me either. Upon being confronted, he just got worse. He told me I was the one and left her, and told her the same thing. He said a lot of nasty things about her, that she was just ass, had drug problems, etc. I tried to think about some options to keep him around, but the trust was gone, and I realized nothing would fix this. I did my best to block him on everything, and specifically said, please leave me alone. He refused. He kept messaging me through different apps that I don't even check much. I found an email from him in my spam folder this week, saying that I know as well as he does that we are meant to be together, blah blah. It broke my heart even further. So I told her. He denied saying that, so at her request, I sent her screenshots. I also sent her everything else, screenshots of anything he ever said about her, his contradictions, his techniques for getting away with cheating, the way he treated me, and how he said he loved me. I held nothing back. I said, show him this. I want him to know I am not afraid to tell the truth. And you needed to know too. He emailed me again. Again, it was in spam. He's pissed. He said I was running a smear campaign against him. Good. I'm glad he's pissed. Maybe now he will leave me alone. I only told her the truth. No lies and not even exaggerations. Aren't smear campaigns lies and exaggerations? Didn't she deserve to know? Doesn't he need to be exposed? I think she stayed with him, which is wild, but now she knows what she's dealing with. Am I the a-hole for telling her all this? She already knew he was a cheater, but I wanted to make sure she knew the whole truth because he's a liar. I admit I wanted to hurt him too, but only with the truth. So how is that a smear campaign? I haven't heard from him since, so maybe he's pissed enough to leave me alone. Not the a-hole. You did the right thing showing her. It's up to her what she does with that information. Shame she decided to stay, but some people really struggle to let go, even if the person they're holding on to is obviously terrible. If nothing you said is a lie, then it's not a smear campaign. It's just showing who he really is. One of my favorite sayings is, I didn't make you look like a POS. Your actions did that. I just stopped hiding them for you. I actually do feel bad for her. She's a lot younger, has a lot of issues, and it probably feels like a lifeline for her. I don't want to hurt her. You aren't going to hurt her, but he most likely will. There's nothing else you can do about that though. You can't force her to leave him. All you can do is show her who he really is. And you did that. Unfortunately, some people just have to figure it out the hard way. Not the a-hole, but I am concerned for your safety. Guys like your ex are known to get violent when they don't get their way. I've changed the locks and carry pepper spray. Not sure what else I can do other than ask for a restraining order. Would this even qualify? He hasn't come to physically confront me. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not helping my siblings care for our terminally ill mother? I'm 27 female, the oldest of 3. I have a younger sister, 25 female, and a younger brother, 24 male. We share the same biological parents. Our father has never been present for us or our mother. He's very much the working provider who has no interest in actually knowing his wife or kids, and he would never do more than provide financially. Our mother was good to my siblings, but she has denied me my whole life because I look just like her late mother, whom she still despises to this day. My mother used to tell me I was not her daughter and that I was her mother's reincarnation while she was still alive. She said I was a punishment sent to drive her crazy and that it was impossible for me to be loved. Whenever I was sick or hurt, she would tell me to find someone else to comfort me because she was repulsed by my existence and would never touch me again. She talked about regretting that she didn't abort me. There were all kinds of verbally abusive comments throughout my childhood. She was so unashamed that she spoke to me like this in front of other people. To her, it did not matter if people judged her because she truly was disgusted and repulsed to have given birth to me. She would deny me food when she was especially disgusted. It went multiple ways. She would never cook for me once I was 5 years old. I was expected to make a sandwich or microwave something. But then there were times when I went to make something for myself and she would block me and tell me I wasn't eating the food she bought. She said she wanted me to go to my room and starve to death on more than one occasion. My relationship with her messed me up badly in my teens and early 20s, and I have been in therapy for 8 years to work through it all. But there are still things I have yet to fully unpack, and maybe I'll never completely get there. My mother hated her own mother so much that she celebrated when her mother died, and I remember it clearly. She hired a sitter and went out on the town with some of her friends. The next day, she made all these cakes and other treats for my siblings to enjoy with her. She told me a while after that she never loved her mother, and she never would or could love me, and she hated me more for keeping her mother alive in a sense. I hate my mom, but I can also admit I love her too, and it's very complicated. But I have drawn a line with her, and I have been no contact for almost all of my adult life, except for 2 instances when I saw her at my sister's and then my brother's high school graduations. That was it. Now she has been diagnosed with ALS, and she was also diagnosed with some kind of kidney disease or failure. My siblings wanted to work out her care between the 3 of us, but I told them they would need to leave me out of it. I explained I would not provide her with any kind of compassionate care, and since she can still talk for now, I would not be able to keep it humane while she reminds me of just how much she hates me and regrets my existence. I told them I don't want to be that person, but I would snap. They told me we could figure out a way to give me less time with her, but that they need me to pull my weight. I asked them if she would have done any of that for me if I had been left disabled like this. They both admitted she would have used it as an excuse to end my life. But they pointed out that I'm better and healthier than her, and I would be doing it for them, not her. I just can't bring myself to do it. Not after everything she has put me through, and especially not when I'm a grown 27-year-old who still isn't fully healed from everything she has done to me. Am I the a-hole? My siblings are clearly annoyed that I won't help. Even if they say they understand my reasons, they still want me to put them aside for them. Whoa, nope. You are not the a-hole in this situation, but your biological mother is. You came here to write that down because a little part of you is trying to think of an excuse for your mother, but there is none. In an alternate universe where this mother would change her behavior toward you and apologize sincerely, that would be your point to think about maybe helping. But hell no, not now in this universe. You have every right to continue healing and not have your wounds opened again. Wishing you the best. You would never catch my mother apologizing to me. She has always made it perfectly clear she does not regret treating me the way she did, and she looks at me and can only see her mother, not me as a person or her daughter. She will likely die with disdain in her heart for me. I don't know what her mother did, but if it's anything like what your mother's done, you could always tell her you can't help her because she's just like her mother, and you've been taught to hate that person. I know my mother faced some physical abuse from her mother as well as verbal abuse, but I don't know if any of us will ever know the full story. I also know I have been working hard so that one day I can have kids and end the cycle. But that's why I'm still in therapy, because I would never want to become as twisted as my mother is. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not feeling anything for my new baby half-sister? My dad and his wife had my baby half-sister in December. I, 16 male, haven't really felt anything for her. She's cute and a baby, and I don't dislike, hate, or resent her. But I don't love her either, and I don't feel protective over her. This was something I was talking to my therapist about, and she asked me to tell him in a session, so I did. He was upset, which I think makes sense. We're both his kids after all, but my therapist said it was important to get that out in the open. He asked a lot of questions when I told him, and he looked really disappointed to hear me say what I told my therapist. After finding out how I was feeling, my dad has been putting her in my arms more and trying to force a bond on my end. Now he praises me every day, tells me what a good big brother I am and could be, says I'd be the best role model for her, and tells me I'll be her hero and she'll admire and look up to me. It made his wife and some of her family ask questions, and he told them there were bonding issues on my part, and he was trying to help with that. His wife pushed for more details, but he said just bonding issues. She started watching me with my half-sister, and her family were visiting Saturday and did the same. It was like every move I made was being watched, and they kept track of how many times I interacted with her or didn't. They brought up the fact that I don't initiate contact with her, and that it's all my dad. My dad's father-in-law bluntly asked if bonding issues meant I didn't give a crap about my flesh and blood sibling, and that my dad felt like he had to try to find some way to make an innocent baby appealing to me. Then he answered his own question by saying it sounded like that, and that it would take a real little jerk to see his own sibling and not care. Then my dad got into a fight with all of them and I left the house. His wife was furious when I got home because I didn't stay and take my half-sister away from the fight, which she said proved her dad right. I can tell from the way things went Saturday that she thinks I'm a monster now, and so does her whole family. For anyone wondering where my mom is, my mom died when I was 12. My dad married his wife in January last year. I'm not really close to my dad's wife, but she has tried to fill in as some kind of mom figure. I don't really see her ever being that, and I'm mostly just fine with her. That's why my dad got me therapy, because he hoped I would adjust to all the changes better with it, and be more open to her and then my half-sister. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Bonding doesn't work that way. Can't be forced, can never be forced. Did the therapist suggest to your dad to force interaction? I'm thinking not. She didn't say anything like that around me. As far as I know, this is all my dad wanting to try and make feelings happen and a bond form. Your feelings sound totally normal and appropriate. She's not your baby. You're a teenage guy not seeking to add a baby to his life at this moment, and she's not a full sibling, which might or might not make a difference. It might make your life easier to have a few true positive stock phrases ready if people ask you about her. She's a good baby, she's a cute baby, etc. If push comes to shove, you can say, I bet someday I'll get to teach her how to drive, which is positive and friendly, and also far enough in the future that you haven't locked yourself into any responsibility. If they keep asking you to hold her or babysit her, you can say she's got two great parents, or I'm not ready for the responsibility of a child yet, but she's a cute baby. You might or might not eventually develop a relationship with her. Lots of people don't like babies, but do like bigger kids. Or maybe you won't ever be close. As long as you're not feeling anger or resentment, which you say you're not, you seem like you're in good shape here. I don't know what to do about your dad though. I don't think I'll ever have anger or resentment. She's done nothing wrong after all, and she's my dad's kid too. But I'm pretty positive we will never have the relationship my dad is hoping we will have, which I think is fair, but will probably be tough for him to accept.